For training purposes, we have created a folder on our local system called Acme Transactions. Our transaction file is the only file in this folder. When we start onboarding the transaction file, we will be referencing this folder. Next, we will open the downloaded Accelerator workbook and work through the process of onboarding an application. To begin the process of onboarding, we start from the Boardwalk Velocity ribbon and click on Validate EC. A file dialog box opens up. We then navigate to the folder where our transaction file is stored. Click on the folder. Then click on OK. Our transaction file will be uploaded to Velocity. Notice the role for this is set to Acme Transactions by default. We can change this here to adhere to the roles that we have to work with. If we are going to have multiple roles, then it is best to have multiple files to upload, given that each of the files will behave differently. That is, all columns may be writable in one file for a given role, and some columns may be read-only in the other file based on the role. Then one will have multiple entries in this section. In our case, we have only one role. The access type is editable for most file, and based on the requirements, it could be read-only. For our case, we will leave it as editable. The next section, starting from column F, lists each of the sheets in the workbook. Since we have only one sheet, transactions, that is the only sheet that shows up. The state column indicates whether the sheet is a visible or hidden sheet. The worksheet protected column indicates whether the worksheet is protected or not. If the VBA code is protected, is indicated by the VBA protected column. Formula dependency column indicates if there are any dependencies on other sheets. In certain instances, we may not want to export some sheets to the Boardwalk platform. The export column controls this. There is a formula in the column, which in our case computes to a yes, since our worksheet classification is cuboid. The next few columns are statistics about the worksheet. Number of rows lists the number of rows of data. Number of columns lists the number of column in the sheet. In our case, there are 15. Export start row is set to 1 because our data starts from row 1 in our transaction sheet. Export column is set to 1 as our data starts from column 1. Access type allows us to set the read-write properties at a sheet level. In our case, we want it to be editable. The worksheet classification in our case is a cuboid. The other options available are pivot, form, and static. Please note that the export column computes to no for these options. If the Accelerator template indicates the presence of protected worksheets, you can remove their protection by selecting Unprotect EEC Sheets. The Accelerator will subsequently proceed to unprotect the identified worksheets. If you wish to resolve any errors reported by Accelerator at this stage of this process, you have the option to restart. Common errors might include Haschinaise or division by 0, etc. in the data. To address these errors, you can rectify your transaction data file and return to the Accelerator template to begin anew. To do this, click on Clear EEC. This will remove all information from the Accelerator about your data file. Once the errors have been resolved, you can restart the process of onboarding an application by clicking on Validate EEC. Let us assume that we have addressed all issues being reported by Accelerator, and we are now ready to onboard the application to our Boardwalk Velocity server. Please ensure that there are no other Excel workbooks open besides the Accelerator workbook and that no changes were made after the EEC was validated. Click on Export EEC to begin the process. A pop-up box to confirm the continuation of the process shows up. Click on OK. If your session has been idle for some time, a login window will pop up. Enter your credentials here and click on OK. Depending on the number of workbooks and worksheets being uploaded, the process may take several minutes. Please do not interact with the workbook while it is uploading. Next, the process will show a pop-up of the available neighborhoods to create the application in. For this session, we will choose Training and click on the OK button. A progress bar for exporting EEC appears. It displays the percentage of completion as the application is being uploaded, indicating the progress of the upload process. As the Accelerator processes the information in our transaction file, it keeps updating the bottom of the processing bar with the activity being performed at that time. We are almost 50% done with the onboarding. Close to 75% done. Once the application onboarding process is complete, a pop-up indicating the same will appear. Click the OK button to proceed. Congratulations! We have uploaded the EC.